It is repetition which makes for perfection.
Start with the kneecap. Certainly, if you've seen the movie, can we talk of the movie? Still too early? Eddie, the actor that plays Mr. Terrific, steals a lot of the scenes. Oh, no pun intended. The whole cast is, to be honest. The chemistry, the respective roles that they all play, and showing what a world full of metahumans could really be like. And then maybe have them look over here. Let's see what that looks like here. And it's an upshot. And now we're just doing our math. Here's where the torso is, rib cage, belly button. See, already I feel like he's a little squished. So let's move his hips down here. You never can go wrong with breaking it down this way. And then, like I said, he's taller, so I'm just going to go ahead and put the foot down here. Now, doing this kind of shot, it is tricky. You're basically taking a human figure and posing it, drawing it in perspective in space, right? So, slight upshot. Moving it so that the camera's looking less up the crotch. Then I can kick out this calf here. And I like the idea of the ankle turned up at the bottom. this foot needs to be a slight upshot to sell this. See how that looks here. Someone remarked that was fast, but as you can see, I'm refining it. So what was fast? I think the initial sort of concept and gesture drawing, so the gesture was done, but then moving from that to final, you need to do your math. And what I mean by that is like kind of like, well, where does this shoulder go? Like if this shoulder point is here, this one looks odd there, it needs to be a little higher up, like in perspective, right? So just kind of continually cross-referencing. Midline, all right, that goes down there. Kneecap there. Turn here. So that's one there. Another one would go in like right there, but I got the sense that the soup moves around, right? So what happens if we put the ball here? We get the top of the fingers. Anyway. How's everyone doing? Take it to a light box and just transfer it. And in that particular piece, I ended up going back to the original and just working it out in there. So now, if you look at this, the head, which I really liked how it turned out, it's off center, right? So if this is the through line from the crotch to the belly button to the middle of the pecs, this is where the Adam's apple and neck should be. So like this whole head needs to go over. And you really should not be hesitant to erase and redraw things. This is what erasers are for. This is what the stage of the drawing is for. If you draw something and feel like, oh, I can't recapture that again, well, unfortunately, you need to get more practice. There's that upshot I was looking for. This T shape on the face actually makes it easy to kind of construct the head and do it in different angles. Because these are the lines that basically show you how the head sits in perspective. I like it, except it's probably properly foreshortened in terms of the length of the neck, but I did like the version where the neck was a little taller, and that will make him look a little skinnier too. So let's pop up the head a little bit. I haven't looked at photo reference, but I know, which I will do a little bit. It's not going to be a photo likeness, but I want to capture some of the nuances of Eddie's. Okay, that's not looking up enough. Like I want them. So the trick is straight on. I think it's more of a top shape, like wider at the top, narrower at the chin. But because it's an upshot, now I'm reversing the two. Like, how much do I reverse it? This is the stuff that's kind of going in my head. To sell the upshot, I need to reverse it a little bit. But if I do it too much, then I won't lose that sort of triangular construction. Let me push the nose closer up to the eyes. regal kind of vibe going there. Yeah, maybe I can move with this. Let's. Maybe I'll pop the neck not too much. Put the shoulders down a little bit. Up on a head or a face. See where this elbow is here? This elbow is way down here, right? So again, I can have like the arms at different sort of heights, but I'm going to have them somewhat in the same ballpark, I think. No widow's peak there. Collar. And then why does that go like that? It says fair play over here. Let's block out the letters. And over here. There's a belt. The whole costume is like a big series of T's, the letter T, and then alright, it's not a ball. They're discs. Alright. And this is a nice blurry shot. We'll put a sphere right here. Even the spheres have a T thing on them. Alright, one goes there. Big disco there. Anyway, who do we have in chat? Do we have any mods? Kirihiko, Crispy. Let's see. We got Crispy Egg Roll. Back from his nap. All right, let's see if we can fix this up here. So, given where those lines are, I feel like the probably needs to be turned out like that. That's awkward. I think right here. Sometimes when you draw stuff like that, it just looks weird, like, but that's how it would go. So I always just go with how it should go and then figure out a way to make it look pleasing later. All right, so what I've got is basically the foot on the ankle in the exact same, like overlapping it, so it creates a weird optical illusion of like the, so I need to separate the bottom of the foot right here, and I'm going to give it some tread. That'll help identify that, sort of show that this is the bottom of the foot, the tip of the boot, ankle. All right, see how that, like, it's because it goes right into that, it makes it look like she's got no foot at first glance. That's why it's important to think of the silhouette, meaning if I can get this foot off of the shape of this leg here, that will help. So you can either turn it like this, turn it like that, which I like, or turn it the other way. So but I think this is the solution, right? So it's just kicking it out just a little bit. And then I'm wondering if this disc should be more, should be looking at it more up. What does that mean, more up? Like that. So we see more of the underside. I'm trying to say more up. All right. Got there. Okay, you have pads to sit on underneath. And then I think there's thrusters right here, right? It's actually quite complicated. It's not a thruster. Hey, Jackie. I think they teach you to do underdrawing first, right? I'm not sure what you mean by scritchy lines. committed to that line. When you do it rough like this and loose, you're basically giving yourself permission to, like, I didn't invest that much time into it. It's not refined, and so it can be erased if need be, right? And then the music, of course, makes like those bits, those scenes, like super memorable. And then you see that music sort of trending on socials, right? Can start laying down some structure to this. Okay. Now I fear that in doing this, I've really thinned him out. I think I'm good. I'm looking at the whole figure. I'm also drawing this, inking it without my glasses, so it's all blurry. Which is not an excuse for anything. I was just telling you if I start squinting or making strange faces, if it's because it's all. But I've gotten used to it. like drawing on blurry things, and then when I put the glasses on, like, ooh, you see, not mistakes, but like where you kind of went over the line and stuff like that. But the nice thing about inking blurry is that you're especially attuned to values, relative shades and stuff like that, and basic shapes, and less about the finer details, which is fine by me. The trick to this is that if you black out too much of it, you lose the highlights. I feel like I should have left a little white up there. So I will go back in with white out and do that. I would have that song that plays, the 5-year song, whatever, while I'm drawing this, but then it will get flagged when I put it up on YouTube, I think. Issue. I don't think I did a cover yet for that. Are you talking about the one with Batman on it? Sure. I will be ready early, and of course, not anywhere close. Not close. seconds around, like he will wait hours to get that autograph or that selfie at like premieres or other events and stuff. Hmm. There's here, go across there. And then, okay. All right. Making sure I've got these buckles correct. All right. But the stuff I need to prep for San Diego Comic Con is, yeah, like sketches, just a lot of stuff. I gotta figure out what I want to talk about in my like this. This is actually a fairly complicated piece, to be honest. I was just gonna draw a guy with like T-spheres. Should have just done that. Ay, ay, ay. I always like to tell myself one of the reasons I found success in my career is because I will go the extra distance. More organic than that, Jim. And that will hide a lot of sins right there. can psych yourself out. Like, especially if there's a lot of backgrounds, and you're like, oh, that is too much work. I'm not going to be able to finish this in the amount of time. And you psych yourself out, and then you stop. And then it does become like a lot harder to finish and get it done in time. And I found that sometimes you just need to power through, which is good because I don't like the way they look. They're more like straps. Yeah. Good party. And then, they used to be at all like different locations, like different venues, but now they're all, I think, at basically the same venue. So, I'm using the film version of the contraption, the throne that he sits on. But I'm going to modify it now. Obviously, since I've already drawn these cup holders, I'm kind of stuck with them. And I would probably say like 99.9% of the people wouldn't recognize any of the modifications or changes anyway. Like, these are very complicated things to visually memorize. And I'm going to put black shadows underneath. Even though it's a white contraption, it's going to be heavily lit from above. Be careful. All right, there we go. All right, so then the shoes come out here. Then there's, I think, like I said, I'm taking some liberties now. I know there's a Peacemaker activation. And then there's piping that goes down here. There's 1, 2, 3. And then just eyeball a circle around it. I think this ink is not it's not I didn't shake it. Looks very gray to me. But let's use that to our benefit, or at least say that that was the plan, because it's too late now. This is the brush I used to do that crypto thing, and crypto NVIDIA graphics card, and I did not clean it out, so that's why it's not giving me a proper brush. I mean, it will eventually, right? I hope. I use acrylic. Acrylic dries pretty hard. I don't know after it's dried, like whether you can easily put water to get it back out. So we'll see what happens here. But what I'm thinking about this device is that it's mostly black underside. And then I'm going to use, excuse me, white out later and go in and add details to make it look more high-techy or Mobius-like, like as if the comic book artist, illustrator, creator, Mobius had done something. And you can see I kind of flattened out the cup holders. And I'm mortified that I drew cup holders. Sorry, Mr. T. Mr. T. Mr. Terrific. I just realized that. Yeah, and I think, yeah, And because it's leather, it's fabric, I'm putting extra wrinkles into it, so it's not like skin tight. And I am putting in the areas that are black, right, in the costume first, and then I can go in after and decide if I want to add more shadows. But yeah, this ink is a bad batch. And what I mean by bad is that it is diluted. Strangely diluted. I think it's been sitting there too long. It's almost like a gray wash. And I shook it up quite a bit. So that's not a good thing. The other nice thing about inking at an angle like I am is that it pulls the ink at the bottom of gravity. That's the danger of inking on a sloped surface. That song, fun, whatever, it's just running through my head as I'm drawing this. It's crazy how catchy a tune that is here. So unfortunately, we are running out of time here. So in my head, I'm deciding, what do I do? What do I do? I think what I'm going to do